Aloha. Aloha, friends and neighbors, and welcome to show 886 of Astrology, Ancient Science in the Modern World. I'm your host, Kona astrologer, Rollin Frost, trying to scrape up a living, doing charts for you and other odd jobs. I want to talk about the USA chart. This is not the chart of you, the country and the people. This is a chart of the government. Yes. And it's a big thing that we kind of mistake the chart of the government for the chart of the people, because it seems like the people all kind of behave according to the chart of the government. Anyway, this is a philosophical problem that I'm looking at kind of strong. Upshot is, we're going to talk about the last week in November, and on December 2nd, there's a new moon at 10 Sag. Now, I used the 9/11 incident to make up my mind about the USA chart. And from what I've read in all the books and magazines and things, astrologers have not settled on the USA chart. They got bad information from several different places, and guys put it in books, and so everybody believed it. And I can't believe but what I'm the only astrologer that knows how to use progressions. Anyway, I'm going to show you how I rectified the chart. I'm going to show you the proof of the chart, which I believe to be the location of various special places in the USA country, like Venus going through Las Vegas. But moreover, the proof is in the pudding, as they say, and that is when when I'm looking for the chart of a person, I have clients that don't know their birth times, and we have to rectify their chart. And so what I do is I go back and I make a list of about 20 different things that happen at certain ages. And we start with this chart here, this X chart, let's call it, and I make a list. At age 5, broke your toe. At age 8, bicycle stolen. Age 12, moved. Age 14, got drunk the first time. Age 21. Anyway, there could be a list of about 20 things. And what will happen is, if the birth time is off by 4 minutes, that puts that off by 1 degree is 1 year. So if I make a list and the person comes back and says, oh my goodness, all those things did happen, but you were 2 years off, and most of them were 2 years in this direction. Okay, that's 8 minutes I would add to the birth time. So kind of that's the way you do it. Now you're sort of lost if you don't know if it's AM or PM. Much more difficult thing. You got to look at the past life though. So I've done some of that with the USA chart, and it looks good. Moreover, predicting behavior is a big thing. If you've got a good chart, and most of my regular clients know that I won't work on a sloppy time. I will do something about it until I get an accurate time. That way I can do accurate predictions, and they're not off by a year or two. Okay, so talking about the USA chart, the government's chart, which comes in at 5.5 Gemini rising, and the ruler of the 10th house, Uranus, comes in at 9 degrees of Gemini. And the ruler of your 10th house is as important as the ruler of your first. Your rising sign for you, the body, that's the rising sign. What you're seeing now of Rollin Frost is my 10th house ruler, Uranus. I have Uranus ruling the 10th house too. So your public self, what the public sees, is the midheaven, okay? Now Uranus in the USA chart at 9 degrees of Gemini is about to take the new moon, December 2nd. That's the reason I'm bringing it up to you, is so that you can watch what happens. The proof is in the pudding. Now, if you have a new moon, it's kind of like, every new moon is like mom and dad, the moon and the sun get together and they have a big meeting. And they may change some policies, and they may change directions. In fact, they do. They change a lot of stuff. Full moons are kind of similar, only the mother and father, the male-female moon-sun people, fight a little more. Anyway, this is a new moon at 10 degrees of Sagittarius. Now, that means it opposes the USA 10th house ruler and the rising sign. So we're going to have a month starting around December 2nd on that new moon. Not we, but the government, when everybody's kind of against it. We could have friendly people come out and say, hey, you know, like recently a lot of our friendly countries have really gotten ticked off about the NSA spying on their people. So this crescendo of not liking the USA government is building now even. But once you hit that December 2nd new moon, it's going to kind of explode for a month. And you're going to see 1 month almost like if there was a serious planet going by there, we'd go, eek, another attack like 9/11. But no, it's just a new moon. So what it does is it emphasizes. And everybody who wants to take a shot at the USA government, I don't mean literally, but figuratively, is going to do so. So you're going to see this great outcry in the whole world against the USA government. You'll feel the same way, I think. This Uranus, the ruler of the 10th house, is one of the reasons certain people say we're exceptional. Exceptionalism, we can do what we want, we don't have to listen to anybody else. Right-wing propaganda. But Uranus does mark our public reputation, and it's about to get smeared. So, you're still, 10, 12 days off that new moon. Skateboard right down the street. So now you got a heads up. I'm going to show you about the USA chart, because now I realize a lot of astrologers may be watching this. It's on YouTube, and I want them to know how to rectify and what the proofs were. And let's get the USA government chart straight for once. In 200 years, and nobody knew because of some silly guys in, I won't get into. And nobody really wanted to say that we're a Gemini rising country, because Gemini rising doesn't always have the best reputation. They're a little bit sticky-fingered and a little bit two-tongued and kind of tricky, huh? So everybody wanted us to be Sagittarius rising. They had it just the opposite. Anyway, that's what we're going to work on during this show, and I guess I'll go do the sky mirror first, so I don't shortchange you on what's coming up next week. But the message today is, the chart I have on the USA government works. It's true. Everybody got to listen up and start working on that chart, and let's start some descriptions of what this government is really about. It's not set in cement, No, lots of countries changed governments, and their national chart changed. Pakistan and India got bad charts from the British, and the British said, okay, you're free, lousy chart. So they knew that, and they went back and they made new charts, and they rebirthed their country with a constitution and a government on a really good chart that their Hindu astrologers fixed up for them. So maybe astrologers in this country are too much afraid to step up and say, hey, look at this chart. It's always difficult to face your problems and your neurosis and your bad karma, so to speak, in your chart. And the U.S. certainly has some. The USA government has some. I mean, look at the way it was born in war. Look at the Civil War. And I mean, we're a warlike, aggressive country. And, wait, government. Not the peoples, not the country, it's the government. Seems to flavor the whole thing. Okay, Sky Mirror next, and then we'll go back and do some work on this Gemini rising chart, so other astrologers in the world and in the U.S. know what's going on. All right, what's going on in the Sky Mirror? Always reminds me, there's an app for your iPhone called Sky Mirror Astrology. Gives you the chart of right now, no matter where your location or elevation is. Touch of a button. Well, we're going to touch on the next 10 days for you. Starting out on the 22nd of November. The new moon's coming up on December 2nd. Trines Uranus. But this one is the one that opposes the USA 10th house ruler, its identity. It's Uranus on the rising sign, so this is going to be a fun thing to watch just up ahead. I want to show you a little bit more about the USA chart and how it works out on the Earth. Maybe I'll do that on next week's show. Okay, what do we got here? We've got the chart of the sky, and I'm going to run the moon around the edge, and as it makes angles to the various bodies, it kind of generates the mood of the time. We still have Uranus square Pluto at 9-10 degrees of cardinal. Eek! The sun has gone into Sagittarius for you tomorrow, and we'll square Neptune a couple days from now, and we'll all feel kind of fuzzy. Yes, fuzzy. There is, however, a nice trine coming up between Mars and Venus. Mars in Virgo, Venus in Capricorn. They're in harmony here a bit. Let's check it out day by day. See what happens. I make these little notes here so you can see. Here's one day's moon travel, and it's in Cancer. If you're on the Thursday show, on Thursday night, moon's going by Jupiter. Truth and wisdom is coming out here. Wow. Yeah, a lot of neat stuff. Of course, you're not getting any rest because there's a square or an opposition to Venus. The girls aren't too happy, but there's a lot of nice wisdom. It's kind of the middle of the day Thursday, huh? Friday about noontime, the moon moves into Leo, and it makes a nice trine to the sun in Sagittarius, and you'll feel ambitious and feel like getting stuff done. Different vibes, huh? Saturday morning on the 23rd, there's a trine to Uranus. This whole period is inventive and independent and Aquarian age. So things will come up in the news, new wondrous things for your mind to chew on Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon and evening, though, there's a square to Mercury. It's hard to communicate. And a square to Saturn late Saturday night. Everybody's stuck and we're worried about it's getting cold and we're feeling poor. And moon in Leo, we tend to get stuck in these things too. Continues kind of through Sunday. The 24th, this feeling of difficulty communicating and getting around.